Hello Reds, what a win that was then. It's Talking Reds, it's Monday and it's another great win for Liverpool Football Club. We are top of the league, by 8 points. We could do with Leicester fucking the fuck off. But you know, they keep winning and fair play to them and they're playing good football. City meanwhile, lost of course to Manchester United and now 14 points behind the Reds. A load of teams actually closer to them who are below them than the Reds, you know what I mean? So they're getting dragged that way, they're not coming up that way. Which is interesting when Sterling said they were going to keep chipping away. Chipping away at what, mate? 8. So we shall see. Of course, they are capable of good runs and all that kind of stuff. But the Reds, we're boss. And that game against Bournemouth, Craig, I just thought was perfect for us in that, you know, we won well. And we also sort of were able to take our foot off the gas in preparation for the game tomorrow against Salzburg, which by the way is 5 to 6 kickoff. So get out of work, do what you do, but don't miss the game because you didn't realise it was 5 to 6. It's 5 to 6 kickoff.
Fuad, remember that? Me and him are going.
Yeah, you are going. Fuad. And you are both fucking terrible at sorting things out. Fuad was just telling me that you managed to book yourself on the plane twice. Rather than actually book Fuad on.
Thought the match was a Wednesday night as well, so booked the wrong hotels.
Going well.
Basically, every time I ring the hotel up, they're saying there's 3 bookings, and I'm like, no, one's been cancelled, one's been changed, and this is the new one, and they're just trying to explain that to like an Austrian fella.
The company I've never heard of as well, lad. What are they called?
Eurowings.
Eurowings. That's going to be like one of them planes with the little propellers.
Oh, don't. Like, is it Salzburg or Innsbruck have the most dangerous runway in the world as well? I know Fuad's face there, I haven't told you that, lad. The flights were cheap direct as well, so...
Defo to Austria, yeah?
Up the Reds. Yeah, defo to Austria. I'll have a look. But yeah, the Bournemouth game was a piece of piss, wasn't it? And
yeah.
It was a welcome piece of piss because it feels like over the past sort of two months especially, it's been, you know, finding ways to win, grinding results out. And having a big phew at the end of the game and just thinking, thank God we got through that, or last minute winners. And this one, it was just like the Reds in third gear, bossing it really.
Clean sheet as well.
And I think that's one of the massive positives. But I think, you know, the fact that Klopp's been able to rotate twice now heavily in terms of bringing players like Keita, like Chamberlain in, Shaqiri and Origi in the last game, and to see them flourish and to see them play well and to get a goal, both of them. Like I'm made up for Keita because that's a player that we sort of, you know, we're waiting. It feels like we're continually waiting for him, and I just hope he's able to stay fit and build on that performance. But hugely positive, and then as well for Curtis Jones, who you alluded to, Premier League debut, comes on. Just he's self-assured, isn't he, Curtis Jones anyway, and he's a really good player, and he just didn't look out of place one bit. So yeah, it was a big 3 points, but like a lovely Saturday all in all.
I think Keita for me was the big thing that, you know, we haven't seen anything from him for a long time. Paid 50 odd million quid for him, obviously. And like, you know, you think back to when he was at Leipzig and you know, you were watching the highlights reel and it was weird, wasn't it, that we paid the money and then we had to wait a season for him to turn up basically. And it was like you're watching these highlights, you're seeing these goals and you're thinking he's going to be absolutely magic in a Liverpool shirt. And it's never quite worked, you know, that's a rare occasion, him doing 90 minutes in a Liverpool shirt. But I thought, you know, there was a little bit of rust, I thought, initially, a few balls that he gave away and things like that. But he got into it. And like the goal's brilliant, the way he takes the goal, the weight of the pass from Mo as well is absolutely superb. And you just think, you know, if you can keep him fit, as you say, he'd be a real asset in this run. I mean, like, I was reading about who might be available for Salzburg and they're saying like Lallana probably available, Van Alzen probably available again. And it's like, we're trusting the squad more and more now, aren't we? And if someone like Keita can start contributing well like he did on Saturday, bodes well.
Oh yeah, definitely, and you know he's gone back to his old club there, Salzburg, isn't he? I think, you know, before the game on Saturday, I would have said there's no way Klopp would trust Keita in a game like this, and actually I don't think he will, but I think he could do. I think there's, you know, if for instance there was, you know, Wijnaldum wasn't fit or whoever, I think he'd have no problem putting him in there after the performance. What I like about him is every time he has the ball, it feels as if he has the whole pitch in front of him and then he drives forward with it. And I think sort of too often when I've been watching him, I've been I've been wishing him to be this kind of player that we've seen on YouTube and we haven't seen it. And you were seeing glimpses, and the fact that, you know, he sets up Mo sets up him. There's like nice little partnership there. I really like that, and I'm excited about Kate over what's going to be a demanding period. You've got the World Club Cup coming up, obviously Premier League games. We've got the Merseyside derby. That's a game that you could see Naby Keita playing in and bossing. And then possibly even if the under-23s do the business at Villa, then possibly even 2 semi-finals in the League Cup in January to look forward to, or, you know, if you're Jurgen Klopp, to absolutely dread because he hates the competition. But yeah, all in all, like, brilliant.
Fantastic times, and except if you fly on Eurowing. We do whatever happens with the Reds and whatever matches that the Reds do play and whatever we do win this season. It looks really good for winning something, let's be honest, but let's not get carried away at the same time. Or in fact, fuck it, let's get carried away. But anyway, whatever happens, we shall be there every step of the way as usual. Podcast, video, stuff on the website as well. Every single match that Liverpool play, we do post-match reaction, both a podcast and a video. Here's a clip from the video on Saturday, the post-match pint. Fuad's right in that when Trent comes on, you know, he's involved in that brilliant goal for Keita. Just the pace he puts on the pass, the idea of the pass even as well, and then the back heel from Mo. He seems to hold it for ages, then he puts that back heel in. Keita's onto it, and this was the other thing. I thought understandings were there, even though there's so many changes in the team. You could see understandings. To score that goal, there's an understanding there. To score the goal Oxlade-Chamberlain scores, there's obviously an understanding there. Do you know what I mean? They all feel like they're on the same wavelength.
Yeah, I think something quietly that's happened in the last, I don't know, maybe 8-9 games, is the front three haven't played together as often as we used to. I think, again, I'm going to guess 4 or 5 times we haven't seen the exact front three, and it still works, doesn't it? I mean, I saw our mate Paul Senior correctly tweet beforehand, I'm shitting myself without Mane. I thought, yeah, aren't we all? But we didn't miss him, not at all. We got a whole game without, just as we didn't miss Salah in previous games. In the week we didn't miss Salah, didn't get a kick at Palace. You could argue at Palace it was tighter, but Everton we didn't miss him, didn't miss Mane today. This is the progress Klopp wants. The squad is becoming an important thing for this team. You can see that it's interchangeable in every single position.
So that was the post-match pint, or a clip from the post-match pint. If you fancy watching the full thing, or you fancy having a go of the post-match podcast, download the app. You get some free tokens, and you can have a go for nothing. And if you like it, you can subscribe. And if you don't have to. You can just consume the free stuff. That's the way it always was, and that's the way it'll always be. Listen, we've got a few things to mention. There is a support Sean, as in Sean Cox, gig organised by John Bishop at the Liverpool Arena, the M&S Bank Arena as it's known these days, even though everyone still just calls it the Echo. And it will be John Bishop, Joe Brand, Jason Manford, Neil Fitzmaurice and more. A night of stand-up comedy to raise money for the Sean Cox Rehabilitation Trust. Is continuing to go through various treatments. Sean, his family need money to help along with that. This is to help with that. The actual gig will be on the 15th of March. Tickets went on sale today. If you fancy that, get behind it, buy a ticket, and you're helping out a fellow Red in Sean Cox. So that was one thing we needed to give a mention to. Another thing that we needed to mention is that we need some more questions off you. We had the idea that every day in the comments you could ask us a question, we'll have a look at them and we'll answer one tomorrow, or we'll use it as a jumping off point for some kind of debate. They've dried up a little bit lately, so get involved and try not to make them about the Simpsons. It was a bit weird, that, mate. Someone asked, was Neil dressing as Neil Flanders because Andy was Sideshow Bob? And it was like, I don't think so, no.
I even answer that. Yes or no.
But yeah, so something about footy or about Liverpool or something, you know what I mean? So we can talk about that. I feel like I've done all the admin there, so we can probably talk about footy again now. Footy, apparently, right, just before we started filming this, it's come out there that Everton are going for Unai Emery. Interesting one. And we were just saying, weren't we, that, you know, like, obviously we're Reds and like Blues get a big cob on if you talk about them, but not asked. I watched their game and it was like, in a weird way, it was kind of enjoyable, wasn't it?
It was really enjoyable.
And like, you know, like sort of the stuff that's come out, like, you know, we've always ripped Big Dunk and all that, and, you know, called him a tampon, in for a week and out for a month and all that when he was playing. But you couldn't help but sort of enjoy it, I think, in that, you know, the big man gets his go. And they were, to be fair to Everton, they put the most tackles, I think they put in for a decade or something, the stat was, which was mad. There's the big scene where he's hugging the ball boy and all that. And like I heard on the radio afterwards that immediately his odds were slashed to get the manager's job, and I just thought, they'll just end up giving it to him, won't they? They'll just end up giving it. He'll go on a run, he'll do all right, and someone somewhere on the board will go, just give him it. The
Give
fans
him Big Dunk.
You know, the fans are made up. And then here we are, Monday morning, Unai Emery.
Another wet wipe. Do you know what I mean? He just isn't the... I think you need someone to come into Everton and just grab them by the balls, do you know what I mean? And sort of like... We've spoken loads about culture at Liverpool, and someone just needs to go in there and change the culture and make them all buy into something and believe in something. And like, you know, for 90 minutes there, Big Dunk had done it. Now I'm not saying that Big Dunk is the answer for Everton and that he brings success back to Everton and so on, but like there's I'll be honest, right? I'm a little bit of a football romantic, and I like the idea of an old player, a hero coming back, even if it is just for one game. And getting the 3 points, and you saw how much it meant to him. Like, would take the piss out of Everton loads, but I loved the celebrations. I loved the passion, and that was just him as a fan. That's seeing how much it meant to him. Like, I can't believe we're being so nice about Everton here. It's weird.
I know, yeah, it's madness, isn't it?
But I'm more being nice to
normal service will be resumed.
Yeah, it's not even about Everton, because if it wasn't Everton and it was another club, then you know those scenes I'd still talk about it, because like even his post-match interview where there was continual probing around like him wanting the managerial job and all of this, and he just kept saying, he was like, look, this is the day I'll remember. Yeah. He was getting teary-eyed about it. No media sort of script answers. It was like, you know, this is the day I'll remember, and I'm so thankful, and to be able to give that to the fans is brilliant. I loved that.
And he was apparently wearing Howard Kendall's watch as well. His widow had come round to see him and give him Howard Kendall's watch and said, you know, wear that for for good luck, if you like. And it apparently doesn't even work, the watch, like, but again, it's quite nice, that, isn't it? I mean, and they love a timepiece at Everton, you know what I mean, with the cuckoo clock in the trophy cabinet.
Can never be too nice about Everton.
Had to get it taken eventually. I just wanted, on the culture thing that you just said there as well, I just wanted to bring up City, in that I think it's interesting now where they're going. Like, you look at sort of what's being said in the media, you look what the manager's saying, you look at sort of some of the body language and the way they're playing and stats and everything else, and like Guardiola did this interview where he was saying, I don't know why we're this many points behind Liverpool, and I thought, oh well, this is interesting. And he was pretty much saying, we're not doing anything wrong, we're creating loads of chances, we're not letting that many chances in at the other end, blah 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 blah. And it's like, hang on, this is a manager who's, you know, not doing well by his own standards, and he's set the very highest bar, and now he's starting to defend his record when they're slipping, and it's a bit like, hang on. And then, like, I was reading, you know, a lot of the journalists who cover City are saying the intensity of their play is not quite the same, and obviously United were cutting through them at will on the break.
They really were. We were saying in the break that, like, I was watching that game, and first of all, Rashford, Martial and Lingard just tore them to shreds, and it reminded me of Klopp's first season, his first game at the Etihad, where he played Lallana, Firmino and Coutinho as a 3. I think it was for the first time in that game, and it just felt like we were cutting through them at will. I think we end up 3-1 up at half-time, so it was a similar scoreline. And I was texting my mate, he's a United fan, saying, like, you just need to hold on. It just feels like exactly the same game. Like, if you can hold on till late on and then grab one again on the break. Now, obviously that didn't happen, and Otamendi gets one, but like, I don't think City created that much in the second half. I think that'd be my main worry. Like, if they were sort of, you know, piling in on the De Gea and making him really work for it, and you'd be saying, oh well, it's just one of those days where the keeper had a blinder, played a blinder, but it wasn't that, was it?
This is my thing with it now is I keep hearing people say, lots of people are saying, yeah, but City are capable of another, like, you know, 20 game run or whatever where they win every single game. And I can see why you say that, because obviously, you know, they did what they did in the league last season, but at the same time, I'm kind of looking at it going, are they though?
But aren't we,
currently, are they?
Aren't we double the points? We were only, the most we were ahead of them last season was 7, isn't that right?
No, there was a point where...
It was, or was it 9 and it was a game in hand? Something like that, wasn't it?
There was 10 where there was a game in hand, wasn't there? Where I think we beat Arsenal on the Saturday, I think it was, and on the Sunday they were playing. Someone will probably correct me, but yeah, there was a game in hand. But it was, when we were on the same number of points, it was 7, wasn't it?
14 is outrageous now, and like,
it's not even, I mean, we're defo top now for Christmas. Whatever happens, we're top for Christmas.
Imagine telling like 8th of August Gareth that you know, by December time, like future Gareth would be watching Liverpool 14 clear.
8th of August, Gareth would be like, fuck off.
And it's massive. And look, what I love about this is, so I was saying to Neil beforehand that I was watching that game, and I remember last year there was a parallel where City played Newcastle and Newcastle beat them. And after that game, I was like just bouncing around my living room and kitchen, did not know what to do with myself, because I was like, fucking hell, they've lost a game, they've lost another game. And it was like, this year we go 14 clear of them, and like I was shitting myself at the end in case they were going to equalise. But afterwards, I just sort of sat on my sofa and watched the movie and was like, happy days, this is brilliant, what a Saturday. Because I think we're all a bit more mature this year, and we're all like, we've reined it in a little bit, and that's learnt experience from last year. But
I'm quite relaxed about how good Liverpool are.
Exactly.
Well.
There's so much more trust.
It doesn't feel like it's like sort of, and like intensity level 95. Yeah. It just feels like, like especially after watching Bournemouth, it was like we won, and we won with ease, and we were clearly a better side, and Bournemouth just never ever fancied it, never ever fancied taking us on.
And we're not being dragged by one player or two players. It's this thing that's shared. It's a burden, or what's the word? It's shared throughout the whole squad, is what I'm trying to say. So, last week Van Dijk scores a couple. This week you've got
Divock,
exactly. It's spread out. The goals are spread out through the whole team. I think we've got eight goals from midfielders this season, and 6 from defenders. So it's shared out more rather than just be pinned on that front three. It can be any front three, and they can do the business for us. So
it's a little bit of a concern. The only little concern is Lovren going off, isn't it? And we're a bit bare bones now at centre half.
I thought Gomez did really well.
He was much more comfortable there than he was at full back.
And I've been thinking about this, right? Because you think about the position that our right backs are asked to play in. So if you looked at a heat map about where our right backs are, it's probably quite similar to what a right midfielder would have been 12, 15 years ago. Yeah. Now imagine 12, 15 years ago saying to Ferdinand, right lad, we're going to need you doing right midfield this week to fill in, because it would be mad.
Sammy, if you're right wing this week, lad.
Carragher filled in at right back, but imagine pushing him way up the pitch and going, make a difference there, or even try to emulate just a little bit of what Trent does.
When we had him on the other week, like we said, someone had asked the question, would he get in the current side? And obviously we had a laugh with him, and Kev was like, nah, shite. Yeah. And he was like, I'm getting in it, I love it. But I was like, but you wouldn't fancy it at right back now, would you? And he was like, no. He was like, under Houllier, he was like, we were essentially a line of 4 centre halves. And he said, and I was comfortable with that. But the idea of bombing forward, getting involved, getting in the box.
And Gomez was trying. He was. I think he put one decent ball in, and I felt a bit sorry for him, because it's a bit of a graveyard shift now to go from being a centre back and play in the manner that Gomez does, and then being asked to be Trent Alexander-Arnold for a bit. He come on and for 10 minutes terrorised Bournemouth, really terrorised. You saw the difference immediately.
Well, it's Crimbo and that, so Craig, with some merch news.
We've got gift card subscriptions now that we're selling out through Christmas. So if you've got anyone that might like a TAW subscription, 3, 6 or 12 months, you can get them on our shop. It's shop.theanfieldwrap.com. Got Mane t-shirts, we've got Shaqiri t-shirts, Naby t-shirts, basically t-shirts for all the great players. Now, we haven't sold many Shaqiri and Keita t-shirts for a while because they haven't been playing, so you can get on them now if you want. But shop.theanfieldwrap.com.
Also wanted to give a shout out to Mick at hatscarforabadge.com. We've known Mick for a long time. He's a sound fella. Got a shop there by the Flatiron pub. So if you're going down to Anfield on match day, pop into his shop, look at his stuff. But he's also got a website as well. It's spot on, the stuff from Mick, it always has been. I think some of the t-shirts he's produced have been proper iconic ones. So there's the, the one with the kits on the shopping line and all that kind of stuff. There's a few which are takes, to say the least, on some Adidas stuff. I think that's fair to say. Sorry, Mick.
We do the same. Like,
I know,
I think we've got one with Madrid and then literally the Adidas logos.
I mean, it's part of the culture, isn't it, around going to match. So check Mick's stuff out as well, because I know obviously it's a busy time for Mick as well, but as I say, some of the stuff he does is spot on as well, and you'll see people like Carragher and stuff like that wearing it as well, because he nails it a lot of the time, Mick, so check that out as well.
Last thing as well, so this Saturday for the Watford game, we're going to be giving away the post-match pint and the post-match podcast for free on the app only. So if you download the app, you'll be able to get those on Saturday immediately after. One's recorded in the Glenbuck, just up from Anfield, the other at Hotel Tia.
There you go. That's been Talking Reds. Salzburg tomorrow. And remember, it's 5 to 6, so have a word with your boss now about getting off early. Up the fucking Reds.